PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look at Bitcoin over here. And what we have is a WXY correction for our macro wave 4. And I think it's very significant because this Y wave came down to the 1.236 extension, which is a common target for the end of corrections in crypto. Just something I noticed throughout the years. So when you have an ABC correction or a WXY correction, you'll usually see the C wave or the Y wave come down to the 1.236, 1.382 area, and we perfectly hit that level and then bounce from there. We also came down to the 38.2% fib, which is a common target for a wave 4. So when we measure the move from this subwave 4 of 3 low up to this subwave 5 of 3 high, we do see that it had come down to the 38.2% fib below this macro psychological support over here for our manipulation. So we perfectly hit these two levels over here below macro psychological support, and then saw a swift move to the upside with the price retracting back into the range. You then had a market structure shift going above this buy side, and then we had a move down to the 4-hour fair value gap located right over here. Okay, it's even a daily fair value gap, so when we take a look at this daily time frame, you do see that we did come down to fill some inefficiency before we had continuation up. So now if we take a look here, after having a move down to this, after having an initial advance and then a throwback, we had a continuation to the upside, rejecting at the top of the range and then coming back down. So now this is Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic number 2, where we have after having a sweep of macro psychological support, we come up to the top of the range and then have a creak to the downside, right? 50 to 78.6% of the way. Okay, in this case, due to the fact that it is crypto and it is highly over leveraged, we did come down to the 88.6% fib. Now this structure actually reminds me a lot like the structure we had here in 2023. So this structure we had here for 150 days in 2023 was Wyckoff reaccumulation, right? We had our move up, so our buying climax, and then we had our move down to the bottom of the range, sweep the range lows. After sweeping the range lows, you come to the top of the range and then revisit the lows again at the bottom of the range before we slingshot out of there, right? So we see the exact same thing over here. Okay, this is the top of your range over here, come down to the bottom of the range, sweep these range lows, price moves to the top of the range again, and then we revisit the lows. Okay, so what comes next here is a grind to the upside. Now that's if Bitcoin can stay above 59,679 at the 78.6% fib measured from this low over here up to this high. So when we take a look here on the 30-minute time frame, we do see, when we were taking a look at this on the 3-minute time frame, I was showing that this does look like the CO is accumulating, because you have this small range over here, a move down below the range for your manipulation, and I said that if price retracted back into the range, it would be bullish confirmation. And what did the price do yesterday morning? Price retracted back into the range, and then we started to form a leading diagonal. Okay, so this over here could be your wave 1, and then any move outside of this rising wedge is just a bear trap for your wave 2. Okay, it can come down to any of these fibs over here. So let's take a look here. Okay, it can come down to any of these fibs right here. And we're currently just consolidating below the 23.6% fib. Okay, so whenever you have so let's just say you have a bottom in the market. So let's just say this is the bottom, and then price does this. This is what's called a leading diagonal. Okay, and then once you fall out of the rising wedge, you have bears come in full force and say, oh, there, see, it's breaking out of the rising wedge. It's going to come down and revisit these lows, but this just ends up becoming a bear trap for your wave 2. And then we go on higher. So this is what I see here on the 3-minute time frame. So on the small time frame, we may come down a little to those fibs that I showed you guys. May come down over here a little, but ultimately I expect a grind to the upside over here. Now remember, it's very critical, it's very crucial that bulls hold above 59,679 in order for this bullish bias to hold true. I do expect a slingshot move to the upside, likely go to around your 1.618 extension to the 200% extension at around 87 to 95K. Come down for a wave 4, maybe 23.6% of the way down, and then finally go in for your wave 5 before alts have their very explosive run. So this is my video on Bitcoin over here. Everything is looking good so far. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.